Yeah. I mean, huh? Nervous wreck. It ain't me either, but I feel you. Like, but you're the man. You do this all the time. I do too. I can't, like I. It's an entire. Yeah, I can't do it.
And listen,
I can't read and write, so you got to do it.
I know that now, right?
Class alumni everywhere.
I think it's
Toby's here over in us. Chris Couch graduated when we was a freshman. I don't think he went to school. He's in yeah. I can't even believe it. I didn't bring a business card this year. Austin Miller, just saying, where he signed the side. All right, YouTube, come on in. Come on in. It's going to be packed. We got we're live on TikTok. I have to shut up at 6. Glenn Hensley sat in front row running for jailer. Yeah, at 6 o'clock I have to shut up. Hey, Sean, where do they do the lottery at? Live up here in front of all of us? Okay. They're doing a lethal lottery. Here I go. Okay. So now I can just move this around. Jailer candidate Glenn Hensley, ladies again. Making sure I'm ready for the legendary Neil Middleton. Neil Middleton, guys. Look at here. Neil Middleton. Jailer candidate Glenn Hensley. W.Y., the radio man right there. Wink's here. Preacher man Mikey's here. We took a picture. I got a picture of Mikey Clem, by God. He wouldn't give me no money. Who's providing drinks and food tonight? Hey, Glenn. BJ's got all the money. Why ain't he got us some hot dogs? He'd go steal them from the Little League field for us. We're going to hit them hard when we can, by God. It is Crack 40 TV. The legendary Neil Middleton. Robert Crider, by God, he's got his snakeskin cowboy boots on. And, well, he looks like he would be featured in the Roadhouse movie. He looks like a man not to play with if he gets mad. I'll just tell you that. And I think Robert's family's sitting right behind me. I know, right, Willie? Everybody's going to watch here and here. You hear me? They all going to be watching here. We're going to go take a walk since we've got 5 minutes. TikTok, y'all can watch them. Preacher man. Melton Middleton running for District 2 Magistrate. people's packing in. Our sheriff's here. TikTok's live. There's my guy, Powell Brown, and Chris Couch, I believe. Wink, Travis, Officer Travis Freeman, Sheriff Chris Brewer right there. That's the sheriff. There's Willard Wilkerson. He's running. Let's see. There's my boy Derek Sage coming in. Hello, Willard Wilkerson. You doing all right? Let's say TikTok missed out because we're doing like a Hollywood meet and greet right here. There's your future District 2 Magistrate walking in, Derek Sage. Excuse me. Let's just say it right now. The future District 2 Magistrate up in Everett's Mr. Derek Sage. How you doing? What you got to say? This is like walking in at Hollywood, the Oscars, catching interviews. Let's see here. Well,
Go get him, brother.
yep, that's where I'm headed. We'll get up here. Future District 2 Magistrate. Right there behind jailer candidate Glenn Hensley. We're getting a packed house now. The sheriff and them's here. The sheriff's here, TikTok, Derek Sage is here. Travis Freeman. We got everybody showing up. Okay, well, one phone's charged. Take that charge. Alright, TikTok, let me let y'all look around. Y'all still charging. I see Chris Couch, County Judge Executive Candidate, Derek Sage, District 2 Magistrate Candidate, future winner, Neil Middleton. Chris Brewer sitting outside, our sheriff. There's Willard Wilkerson. There's Robert Crider. Show us them boots. I was telling people you look like you'd be a character in Roadhouse today. Robert's
That'll work.
flexing. I mean, you look like you could fit in Roadhouse, the movie or something. You just got that look. Yeah.
That's the way I dress all the time. Yeah.
That's see, Robert. People, you just don't see boots like that no more. I know when my pop sees them, he'll go crazy.
I like my boots.
Yeah, my dad used to wear them all the time, and
I'm always in work boots. That's the only time I get to wear something decent.
Frank Robinette and Heather Lamar in the house. Let's see, Madeline Farley, go Robert Crider. All right, I can't talk no more, guys. I gotta be silent. It's Crack 40 TV. Y'all just watch now. Put that in the comments for me, chat. My chat, keep that in the comments. I have to be quiet.
Kobe drew first. You speak first. Third.
Kobe's first.
Yeah, and that other guy got second. What's his name?
Russell Huff. Is he here? Russell Huff. Chris Couch.
Couch, Chris.
Oh.
I ain't seen Russell yet.
I ain't either.
Maybe he ain't coming because that's why he went ahead and drew.
I heard if he come, he'd be a sight.
Yeah, I think there was 5 of us.
Okay.
He threw 6 out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Middleton, and I do have to be quiet now. It's Neil Middleton from WYT.
I don't watch it enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Please keep the comments coming. Super chats, cash apps, whatever, memberships. This is a legendary news reporter.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of the Harlan County Chamber of Commerce and Eastern Broadcasting, thank you all for being here tonight at the Harlan Center. We are proud to host this candidate forum to give voters the opportunity to hear directly from those seeking office, to learn about their priorities, and to better understand where they stand on the issues that matter to Harlan County. It's great to see such a strong turnout of engaged citizens who care about the future of our community, and I will say our community because I'm a Harlan County native, and it is always good to come home. Before we begin, I do want to note that tonight's forum will only include races where there are multiple candidates on the ballot. For any offices that are unopposed, those candidates are not participating in the on-stage forum format this evening. However, you can find a full listing of all candidates and offices in your printed program, and we encourage you to take the time to review that information. We also want to thank each of our candidates for being here tonight and for their willingness to serve. Before we begin, I'd like to briefly go over the format for tonight to ensure a fair and structured discussion. Each candidate will begin with an opening introduction of up to 2 minutes. We will then move into 5 questions, with each candidate having 2 minutes to respond to each question. At the conclusion, each candidate will also have 2 minutes for a closing statement. To maintain fairness and allow for equal opportunity, the order of responses has been randomly selected prior to the forum. The order will rotate so each candidate has an opportunity to answer first. No questions will be taken from the floor tonight. All questions were submitted in advance and reviewed by the Chamber to ensure balance and relevance. We also want to set a clear expectation for the tone of tonight's discussion. This forum is intended to be respectful and informative conversations for you, the voters. We ask that candidates focus on their own ideas, their qualifications, and their vision for the role, rather than criticizing or attacking other candidates. Now, we do understand that differences in opinions are part of the process, but those differences should be expressed in a professional and respectful manner without personal attacks. If at any point a candidate is unable to maintain that level of respect, the moderator may interrupt or redirect the conversation to keep the forum civic and focused. The moderator is guiding the forum, and if at any point a candidate fails to follow the moderator's instructions, that candidate may be asked to leave the stage. We also kindly ask that you, the audience, remain respectful. Please hold your applause until the conclusion of each section and allow each candidate to speak without interruption. We will begin tonight with the jailer candidates. We do want to note that B.J. Burkhart was unable to attend this evening due to the Kentucky Jailers Association Conference, which is taking place at the same time. We do appreciate his willingness to run and serve, and again, information on all the candidates is in the program. So joining us tonight is Glenn Hensley Jr. We will begin with an opening introduction. Mr. Hensley, you will have up to 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the audience.
Good evening. My name is Glenn Hensley. I graduated from Average High School in 2008. I attended Southeast Community College. For 36 years, I've called Harlan County home. I'm the son of Tammy and Dwayne Jones from Early, the grandson to Tom and Zola Dean, the husband to Tamara for 10 years, and the father to our 2 boys, Grayson and Vincent. My life has been built by the hills and by the hard work. I worked underground in the mines. I've logged miles as a commercial driver. I've been in a section foreman title carries responsibility to build, to provide, and to leave things better than we found it. I stand before you not as a politician, but as a neighbor who believes that our shared hard work can and should translate into a better future and for all families. Together we can make the difference. I'm not going to promise you everything you want to hear just to get your vote. I'm an average blue-collar worker who wants real change in Harlan County, and I stand by my word because my word is all I've got. What I'm talking about isn't complicated. It's common sense. It's accountability and transparency. It's getting back to doing things the right way, especially our detention center, so we can protect the public, respect the people who work there, and to treat inmates like human beings while being held responsible. I'm running for jailer because safety matters. Your safety, the safety of our staff, and the safety of the people in our care. A jail isn't just a building with locked doors. It's a place where professionalism, fairness, and good judgment must show up every single day. If you trust me with this role, my priorities are simple. First, accountability, clear standards, consistent decision, and a culture where policies are followed by everyone. We've got to cut costs the smart way, not by cutting corners, but by rebuilding.
Time. Thank you, sir. So we'll begin now with the questions. First, what steps would you take to improve safety for both the inmates and the staff?
It goes to adequate training. Our guards, we've got to have our guards trained. I think it's just straightforward. There's a lot of other protocols and stuff that we can add to in order to for safety for the inmate. I mean, it don't just take one person. It takes the whole part as a whole to work and put everything in motion. But the training is the big thing right now.
Okay, thank you. How would you address staffing and retention at the detention center?
There's more that I want to add to that, but you know, you have to go into state levels and get. And there's other programs, but the substance abuse program is what SAP is. It goes hand in foot with another one. It's called, let me see if I can find it. It's a big long word I can't remember, but the state offers it. And therefore, it supports shots like Sublocade and Vivitrol. And it's adding more to it. That's relapse drugs and like an opioid blocker. And I stand firm for all that. And every program we got in play is there for a reason, because they actually work. But as citizens, we can add more programs to give the inmates a better future, not just the better cycle that we're giving them.
Thank you. What is your approach to rehabilitation and reducing repeat offenses?
Programs. I mean, it all comes down to programs. And, you know, I support vocational programs. We can work with community partners, such as the college, they can give grants. The state, they have all kinds of grants for this. But you've got to have a jailer that will work and push forward to help get these programs.
In what ways would your approach differ from the current office holder, and why do you believe that those changes are needed?
I'm for the people. It's just like one of my main running points. I'm for in-house visitation for select holidays, because that goes hand in hand with your rehabilitation. The looks and the feelings from your family, and it helps with the rehabilitation. The reason I think I would be best for the office is because I'm willing to listen to the public and to go and build from that and try to get them to implement programs. I mean, you've got to try to want more. That's how we become an innovator.
Okay. How would you approach budgeting and financial planning to ensure that the jail is properly funded while also balancing other county priorities?
One main thing that I'm running on is the garden. Actually bringing the garden back. And that's not just growing potatoes. It's corn, beans, peas, and actually opening the greenhouse back up, because it's not been running in some years. And that right there would actually add a lot more budget money back to the budget. And that would be where we could give money back to the county. Could you repeat the rest of that question?
Just how you would help with keeping it properly funded and also balancing the other county priorities.
And then, you know, working with the magistrates in each district hand and foot to figure out where we can benefit in each district put in the work for these programs. You know, it's you could save money. Smart thinking, should I say.
Okay, thank you. So now we have wrapped up the 5 questions for you, Mr. Hensley, and we're now going to give you 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Everything I've said comes down to one thing: doing the job the way it's supposed to be done. Spending money where it truly protects, saving money where we've been wasteful. Supporting our staff, running a clean, professional, accountable operation, and making Harlan County stronger. I'm not asking you to believe in big talk. I'm asking you to believe in hard work, straight answers, and someone who's going to show up and do what they say they're going to do. If you give me your support, I will bring that mindset to this job every single day. When you vote for me, you're voting for a jailer that will walk the floors with other correctional officers. You're voting for a jailer that will be out in the garden with the inmates. You're voting for a jailer that's going to make surprise checks on work release program. You are voting for a jailer that isn't afraid of hard work. You are voting for an average blue-collar worker that wants to make a change here in Harlan County. It's time for a change. It's time for Harlan County to reach its full potential, to be an innovator instead of a follower. It's time for Harlan County to move forward instead of being stuck on the same track with repeat hit. This campaign starts with a simple belief: our community's best days are not behind us. They are ahead of us. But they won't arrive by accident. It will take leadership that listens, plans, and delivers. Leadership that treats your time and tax dollars with respect. Leadership that measures success not by headlines, but by whether life gets better on your streets.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hensley. And if you would like, let's give her Judge Hensley. We will now move into the judge executive candidates, and tonight's candidates are Paul Browning III, a Republican; Mitch Alford, a Republican; Robert Kreider, a Republican; Colby Goss, a Republican; Russell Dell Huff, a Democrat; and Christopher Couch, an independent. Now, before we begin, I want to briefly revisit the format for this portion of the forum. Each candidate, again, will have 2 minutes for an opening introduction. We will then move through 5 questions, with each candidate having 2 minutes to respond to each question. Now, the order of responses has been randomly selected, and that order will rotate with each question so that each candidate has. And then we will conclude with a 2-minute closing statement from each candidate. We will begin with opening introductions, and again, each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to introduce themselves, and we will begin with Colby Goss.
Did everybody hear me? Good evening. My name is Colby Goss. I'm currently the Deputy County Judge Executive, and I've served in that role since 2020. Previously served in that role from 2015 to 2019, and in between those 2 stints, I was the Assistant City Manager, City of Gulf Breeze in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Prior to that, I spent about 9 years with Carroll Engineer here in Harlan. I'm a graduate of Eastern Kentucky University, Master of Public Administration. Graduate of the University of Kentucky, bachelor's degree in political science, and graduate of Harlan High School. My wife Leslie, she's sitting back here in the back corner. She's an elementary school teacher at Harlan Elementary. Our daughter Audrey, she's a freshman at the University of Kentucky, and our son Aaron is a sophomore at Harlan High School.
Thank you. Next, we will go to Chris Couch. If all the candidates would like to come up, just go ahead and have a seat here at the stage. Thank you.
Get 'em, boys. Good luck to all of them.
Hello.
For those who don't know me, I'm Chris Couch. I'm an independent candidate. I'm not running for a party. I'm running for the people who live and work here. Our community deserves leadership that shows up, listens, makes decisions based on what's right, not what's politics. I believe local government works best if it's practical, transparent, and accountable to the people it serves. As a judge executive, my focus will be to protect taxpayer dollars, strengthen essential services, and make decisions that are made in the open and fairness. As being an independent, it means I can work with anyone. I can challenge anyone and stand up for the community every single time. This campaign is not about service or power, it's about solutions, not sides. I'd be honored to earn your vote and trust. I carry a large work ethic. Many years in the coal mines, working several years as underground, later became the youngest superintendent ever over mines in Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. I respect for the men I work beside of because I believe that leadership means to roll up your sleeves and do what's best. And if someone didn't show up, I fill the gap. That's why I learned teamwork, responsibility, and the importance of hard work. For over 20 years, I've worked as an EMT here in Harlan County and surrounding areas, answering calls for families who are in need in difficult times and moments. With confidence, I can say this is the only thing that I can do is promise to work hard, show up every day, and do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Kreider.
Thank everyone for coming out. Most everyone knows me. My name is Robert Kreider. Some of you know grew up here in Harlan all my life. I'm from Wallace. I've been here 51 years, and I graduated James A. Kaywood High School in '93. Went to Southeast Community College from '93 through for about 5 years. Got 2 associate degrees at Southeast, and then went to Union and graduated with a bachelor's in education. Me and my wife met when we went to Union, and she's with me today, Trish Prater. And she works at Black Mountain Elementary. She's been an elementary school teacher also. She's the counselor there now. And when I graduated, I went full time into my business.
That's his wife.
And still do now. And I've worked in Tennessee. We've done 2 subdivisions through the year 2006 to 2028. And then I've came back here and done mine reclamation work. I'm certified mine foreman in Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. And that's about it. My daughter, she is LMU. She's graduating in spring here in May, and then she's got accepted in the veterinary program at LMU. She starts in the fall. And I'm Robert Kreider. That's about it.
Thank you, sir. Mitch Alford.
Mitch.
Hello, everybody. Thank you first for coming out tonight. It means a whole lot to have the support. of
There
the
you go.
community and the engagement, being interested in our politics. First and foremost, I believe that we need that involvement. We need community support to make things working for good.
Mitch, come out
I was
strong.
born and raised here in Harlan. Graduated from James A. Kaywood High School last week, graduating classes. From there, I started in the medical field. And while I was in school, I started dispatching for the police department, and that bug kind of got in me, and that's which direction I went. I enjoyed it. And I've spent my whole career in public service, responding to most of the times people's darkest time, and really being a voice of reason for them, and trying to make a difference. I'm not a politician. This is out of my element, but I'm going to try to speak clear to you tonight. I'm going to try to explain who I am and my views. I want to see Harlan County do good. I've gained a lot of respect from our community and our leaders, over the past years, and I've worked my way up through the ranks in the public service industry in law enforcement. And I feel like I've made a difference every day, a little at a time, but it takes the community working together, and that's my stance. And I would really like your consideration for the position of Judge Executive. Thank you all.
Good job, Mitch. Here comes the Paul Browning.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, and some kids from birth and ages. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Paul Browning. I'm the current District 3 Magistrate, more commonly known as the Tri-City area of Cumberland, Benton, and Lynch. I'd like to thank the Chamber this evening for allowing us the opportunity to speak to so many people in one setting. As I was trying to decide the best way to communicate a reason for you to trust me to lead our county, I quickly realized 2 minutes isn't enough time. To actually discuss every issue, provide a plan and solution would take the entire evening if you know me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what would make a good county judge executive. Let's start with communication. Communication is a two-way street. To be an effective communicator, you first need to be an effective listener. In my nearly 8 years as magistrate, that position has only strengthened my ability to listen, as well as communicate. Listening to ideas and issues, working on solutions, and communicating that to the people who can best help in every situation is the primary function in that role. Next, we have connections. Connections are like a bridge. They allow for things like information, ideas, knowledge, and funding to go from where they are to where they need to be. Throughout my life, whether it's a small business owner, an employee in several different fields, or while furthering my education, I've made thousands of connections. These connections have helped District 3 make and sustain positive growth during my time as magistrate. And in those 7+ years in that position, I've acquired 400+ very specific county government training hours, and have made countless additional county, state, and federal connections that are imperative to moving our county forward. And then there's community. And by that, I mean putting our communities at the forefront of every decision being made and every dollar being spent. To move our county forward, we have to move every community forward first. I'm almost out of time. Of the candidates here this evening, I'm the only one that can effectively communicate our needs to the necessary connections that will move our communities and county forward. Thank you.
Get them, Glow.
Okay, now as we move into the question section, one, if I could, we'll hold our applause now moving forward until the very end. I'm going to go ahead and give the order for this first question, and then you can come up and I'll remind you. We will start with Chris Couch, then Robert Kreider, Mitch Alford, Paul Browning, and then Colby Goss. So, Chris, if you would like to come up. First question tonight is, what is your plan to address generational poverty in our county?
The big thing is we have to have something for our youth to do. Right now, we have absolutely nothing. That's why all our youth are leaving here. We don't have anything to offer. If we give them something to do, then they'll look more forward to coming here and being part of it, and continue being part of it. As far as the poverty wise, you got to offer more than just a college education. You got to offer welding, you got to offer mechanics, you got to offer plumbing. 50 years from now, there won't be any plumbers. There won't be any electricians. Everything's getting pushed towards higher education, which I'm not against it, don't get me wrong. But people can make a good living being plumbers, being electricians, being carpenters. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Kreider.
He had 2 minutes.
Would you like me to repeat the question, please? What is your plan to address generational poverty in our county?
Well, we've got to resource better funding for the county to have to get the different things that our youth needs. We've lost more over the past 20 years. I remember when I was a kid, we at least had a mall to go to, movies to go to. We've lost all of that. And we've got to have something for them. If we don't resource money through grants, it's obvious that the jobs are not here to produce the tax dollars that we used to have. So we've got to think outside the box and try to get better ways of sourcing those funds through grants, through donors, through contacts. And that's just the core base of it. If we don't start with that, I mean, our poverty levels will continue to grow.
Mitch Alford.
So like the other ones said, you're probably gonna hear a lot tonight. A big portion of this is investing in our youth and getting our youth involved. I came from a low-income family, and it sparked something in me, a desire, whenever I got old enough, I wanted to get out and do better, you know, try to help out. There were times when I was a teen and working through programs like our Boys and Girls Club. You know, they're doing amazing things. They're teaching about business principles and entrepreneurship, and we need to encourage that. We need to make an environment here in Harlan that fosters that entrepreneurial spirit. You know, help these folks out whenever they have an idea to bring it to life. Work with programs like SOAR and other initiatives to really get them to the point of an idea to a reality. And then we need to focus also on getting some kind of industry in here, not putting all our eggs in one basket. That's been done for years. Our coal mines have been unstable, up and down, and you know, if they come back, that's fantastic. But if they don't, I would really like to see some other industries here. Let's start reaching out, sending 20 to 30 emails a day to manufacturing companies and saying, hey, here's what we have to offer. This is Harlan County.
At all
It's
costs.
beautiful. We have a community that binds together and has carried through generations, through World War I and World War II. If it wasn't for Harlan County, the coal production and steel production, to be able to push through those wars, it wouldn't happen. And we still have those people here today, and that's the spirit of Harlan. Thank you.
Big facts.
Thank you. Paul Brown.
Here we go.
One more time, question.
Yes. What is your plan to address generational poverty in our county?
I think the best way to approach that, first and foremost, is something that we're lacking. That's hope and pride. We have to restore hope and pride into our communities. The best way to do that is with knowledge. Of course, you have to have job creation. And county government really doesn't play a primary role in this area, but definitely a supplemental role and peripheral role in all of these things. Financial literacy, job skills training, entrepreneurship training, life skills training, working with the Boys and Girls Club with some of the others I mentioned is a great place to start.
Online.
But you have to have a long-term approach to this. This is nothing that's going to be fixed in just moments. It's going to take quite a while to turn it around. It's a generational situation. It's going to take a generation or more to turn it around. Working with schools and especially our community college system to implement these programs certainly is a great place to start. One of the programs I've been most excited about, a lot of people don't know about, is Boone, Kentucky, a gentleman by the name of Kyle Wilson. He is now in both of our high schools. I first had a conversation with Mr. Wilson about 3 years ago, and his idea was amazing. I've worked since that time, and to my knowledge, I'm the only elected official that has had the conversation with him and helped him implement those programs in there. It's a program that focuses on building the next generation of local economies, particularly in areas needing economic transition. That fit our area perfectly. We need to transition away from what we've had, support it as long as we can, but look ahead to see what we can do. It is an entrepreneurship program inside our high schools. I want to move it down to the middle schools. That is something from a county government standpoint we can do, and I truly want to do. I appreciate the opportunity to work on this in so many other areas that we are, I guess, lacking. Thank you.
Colby Gomes.
Bad, yeah.
I guess this is the hard part going last, because there have been a lot of good responses in there, they just like that.
So what is your plan to address generational poverty in our county?
For local government.
Your plan is county judge executive.
You heard it 5 times.
It kind of go back to
He heard it back.
what some of the other candidates said. You know, that's a couple, because generational poverty, you know, federal government's been fighting since the 60s. And we can argue there's some success they've had there. But, you know, as local leaders, as county officials, I do think we have an obligation to our youth, and people in our community, to encourage them, create an environment where they can succeed. And hopefully, we need, you know. Growing up, being the husband of a teacher, I've seen personally, you know, the family she's helped encourage that nobody knows about. And, you know, that's, to me, that's, it's great to see. But, as far as playing with local government,
Thank you. For our second question, we will go in this order: Robert Kreider, Mitch Alford, Paul Riley, Colby Goss, and Chris Couch. And we will start with Robert Kreider. How will you address substance abuse in our county, particularly when children are affected?
Substance abuse has had to hit home with at least every family in our county. And you have got to, which they've done an excellent job over the past couple, 5-10 years, pharmaceutical drugs off the market. And with what's going on with our federal government stopping the drugs coming in from Mexico, that's got to be the number one issue that's got to be resolved, is getting stopping those drugs from getting here. And you've got to teach the kids in school that they have got to stay away from it. But it goes back to our poverty, when their kids don't have nothing to do, and they sit at home with this time on their hands, or their mom and dad don't have a job, most of the kids are from a broken home. The only thing that they've got to relate to is depression, and most of the time that's why they're on the drugs. So we've got to start with the kids and give them some other alternatives to get them out of the home to where they're not safe, and finding and get they've about got the drug dealers to the care of them. I think they've done an excellent job. Chris and the sheriff's department's come a long ways from where we were years back. But there's still a big issue with the drugs here. We've got to still offer more resources for treatment. And if we can do that, I think you can wrap your hands around that drug issue. It's got to start with this poverty level. If we can't offer something better for our kids to do than to sit at home and be depressed because they don't have any money, they don't have a job, or the job's not here, there's nothing to do. I think it plays a big role in why they end up on the drug issue.
Thank you. Mitch Alford.
He knows.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
So first of all, my background is in law enforcement, and we have seen the lowest times of those that are suffering from addiction. And we've also seen the kids that have been right there whenever their parents are addicted, and they're the ones suffering. So it's a very important topic for me. I've been down on my hands and knees pumping on people's chests that are actively dying from addiction, giving them Narcan, bringing them back, and really begging and pleading. And I've tried to, counsel them and offer solutions. We have several great programs in this
He ain't
county.
lying.
I mean, a ton of great programs. And it's wonderful to me to see whenever people come out of that addiction, they come up to me and they say, you know what, when you arrested me, you changed my life. That means a lot to me. But we have to start at a very young age. And we'll give a shout out to a group I just got knowledge of, No More Lost Voices. And their focus is going in of these children, the homes of these people that are addicted, the children that are suffering from it, and offering them support services. It's a nonprofit. Look them up on Facebook. I think it's a really great growing thing. But we have to reach these kids at a very young age. You have to go through, number one, enforcement. Our drug dealers, we got to get them off the street. Those that are suffering from addiction, we've got to let them know what the resources are and get them help. A lot of times that help, it's hard for them to accept. It really is. It plays on people, and we just have to be encouraging. But the main thing is, it's going to all go back to our youth, starting early and getting them in the right direction and giving them a voice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Mitch.
Paul Brown.
Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, John,
Yes.
he's back.
How will you address substance abuse in our county, particularly when children are affected?
I will say this, substance abuse is something that, my time is measured. If I give a shout out to anything, the current County Judge Executive Dan Mosley, he has certainly done a tremendous job on that. He has had a focus on it, and therefore everyone on the court has really had a focus on how we can help and how we can do that. Although it's not, again, a direct function of county government, we have really tried to
thought I was
focus
getting a shout
on
out.
how we can help. We do support a DARE officer currently in the school system. We support a Casey's Law advocate that we pay for that is inside the courthouse. And I certainly support our sheriff's department and the other police agencies around here and their efforts in combating the drug issue. But like most of them said, we do have to start young. How does it affect our youth? By supporting boys and girls clubs, other programs like that, and getting that knowledge into the heads of younger people, that is really how you're going to start this change in the addiction process. But something that I've been focusing on lately and had a lot of conversations about, the best way to address the addiction issue is to get in front of it, what I call in front of the fangs. If the snake bites you, you've got the venom in you, you've got the addiction. How can we get in front of those fangs? A lot of times addiction starts, unfortunately, due to trauma in your life, sexual abuse, other issues that cause you to want to close off or want to open up into other avenues or other areas. We need to really focus on some of the core causes and core reasons that people even would look at a drug addiction situation or choose to, as they say, check out from reality. That will be a primary focus as your county judge executive, both current addiction issues, but trying to get in front of those addiction issues as early as humanly possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Colby Goss. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Sure.
How will you address substance abuse in our county, particularly when children are affected?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, as far as treatment and recovery in Harlan County, we have a tremendous community of providers and people involved in that field. And for me, these people know a lot more about it than I do as far as how to treat and affect change for especially children. So it's more about getting resources into their hands and finding ways to let them make a difference. I will say that I was proud to be a part of the group that started the Harlan County ASAP board in the beginning. That group's up and going. I think I see a member up there in the audience. But that group's doing incredible work, and they're able to and they've made it a priority to fund smaller grants to organizations that normally wouldn't have.
What's done, by God?
And really proud of that. The second part, Harlan County's been a recipient of opioid settlement funds, and, it will be for the future, but
Dan Mosley.
it's incumbent on us to use those funds as wisely as we can, because it's a one-time deal. So, as county judge, we'll try to put those resources into the hands of people that know how to use them.
Thank you. Chris Couch. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Well, it sounds like a broken record, it has to start with our young people. I know growing up as a kid, we got a lot involved in things like Boy Scouts, football, baseball. Now, there's not really stuff like that for kids to do. We gotta get more involved with our kids. We gotta have more activities for them to do. I've worked in ambulance, I've really never talked to anybody that wanted to be a drug addict. It's not something that they choose, it's just a disease that they carry. We gotta get those guys involved, once they get a little better, get them involved with the kids as well, maybe help them be mentors, and show that the kids can help the adults. Everybody can work together to try to make a better future.
Thank you.
God damn.
So for a third question, this will be the order in which we'll go. Mitch Alford, Paul Browning, Colby Goss, Chris Couch, and Robert Kreider. Mitch Alford, we'll start with you. What are the top 3 most important functions of the judge executive, and how would you carry those out?
So number one, I think, is being a fierce advocate for our county. Making sure that we're heard in Frankfort and outside the state as well. Making sure that whenever we have other elected officials visit our areas, we're gonna have an ask plan. And in that ask plan, we're running strategic, items that we need addressed. We're gonna seek funding for it. We're not just gonna have a picture opportunity with those officials. We're gonna say, hey, here's where our county is lacking, and this is how you can help. And while you're here, let's hear your plan to do so. We need to make sure that we're maintaining a budget, a productive budget. We're cutting out any waste that we have, if there is any. We need to make sure that we're putting the money to where it needs to go to get things done. Number 3 is working with all of our assets in the county to make sure that we're functioning properly. Working with all of our other elected officials in the county. And that's the biggest thing that I've realized is a lot of times folks have trouble with communicating with each other, even in our county government. And I think we need to work on that better, and we need to be a better voice for our community and have transparency. Make sure that we encourage community involvement and make you feel like you're bought into the program, because if we come together, we can get a lot more done. It ain't just about me, it's about us, right? We're all in this community together. We all want to see it do good. You're going to hear it all over and over. You already have. It's about our youth, and it's about doing better, And if you get out in the communities talking like I have, I'm sure the same issues have come up. Our children, our jobs, and our water issue. That's what keeps coming up.
Paul Brown.
Can I have a drink of water?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Please, sir.
What are the top 3 most important functions of the judge executive, and how would you carry those out?
Top 3 functions from my point of view are county budget, projects and services, county development, maintenance and improvements. County budget. The county judge executive has the largest voice on fiscal court. This role is largely responsible for directing where your tax dollars go. I would take a more community-based approach in our spending. Each area of our county has its own unique issues that require unique solutions. I'd like to add that our spending is audited every year. And I'm proud to say that we have had clean audits every year that I've been on fiscal court. Those systems of checks and balances would certainly remain. Projects and services. County Judge Executive takes lead and manages projects such as the Sunshine Volunteer Fire Department, addition of the gym at the Boys and Girls Club, and attractions like Portal 31. Services including the road department, solid waste and recycling, animal shelter, and emergency management. By and large, those departments have run smoothly, but there are always areas that can be improved with new knowledge and a fresh approach. Development, maintenance, and improvements across county property. The county judge executive is responsible for guiding economic development across many sectors, maintaining county roads, buildings, and other properties, and improving services in county-owned public spaces like parks and trails. As your county judge executive, I would continually seek funding through state and federal grants and concentrate on job creation. Maintaining and improving what we have, along with economic growth, would certainly be my #1 priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Colby Goss. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, number 1, propose and pass the county budget. It's one thing to propose a budget, to get buy-in from just board members, that's another thing. So I think, number 1, that's the most important thing you gotta do. Number 2, in my opinion, this will make you a great use as a county judge, administer that budget. Within that budget, there's a lot of things that can happen in a year. Efficiently administer that budget is crucial. And the third, I would say, and this is kind of all inclusive, but be an agent of positive change. Along with that, it can be your workforce, but it can be a change in administrative code. It can be through economic development policies. It's an all-inclusive term, but be an agent of positive change. You'll leave it better than you found.
Martha.
Thank you. Chris Couch.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
No,
Come on, Larry.
it's same it up with one word, transparency. If you elect me, and I choose to spend your money, you're gonna know why. We're gonna have a meeting come together and discuss the reason why. You may have a better idea than I do. You may have a better idea than any of these guys. We've got to know what our money's going, where it's going, and how it's being spent. And at the end of the day, what's the final conclusion? What happened with that? Number two, I've heard this before, that Harlan's unique in that we have 5 counties in one with each district. I wish that we had a way every magistrate had their own office in their district. Every magistrate run their district as they need fit, and if they seek advice or need something from the judge or whoever, then that's available.
Good idea.
The last thing, again, is we gotta get back to the youth. We gotta make sure the playground, the parks, our lakes, we gotta give them something to do. We gotta give them a chance and hope and a reason to stay here and be part of this community.
Thank you. Robert Crider.
They're
Would
on.
you like me to repeat the question?
I think number one would be to be a lead advocate out for leadership to bring back whatever we need in this county. Whether it be funding, whether it be contacts, whether it be human resources, or whatever else we need. We've got to, the county judge executive has got to head the leadership. And the second thing is the budget. Obviously, we have got to lead and work with the magistrates and everyone that's involved in making sure that the funds that we do have make it through the year. And we've got funds that's cut back for disasters or whatever that we've got access to instead of wondering where we'll find it if it happens. And then we have all, third, we have all got to work together with all the different departments throughout the county. The fire department, the rescue squad, the EMS, obviously the magistrates, our county road department, the animal shelter, there's a lot of different things, 431 and getting the lynch. I mean, this is a big county, there's a lot of operating parts. And we've all got to work together. Communication is key. If everyone's not communicating and it's not getting back to the leaders to make the decisions in the meetings on where we're failing at or what we're needing. If somebody's needing something and it don't get to where it needs to go, then they're still needing it 3 months from now. So we've got to work on those 3 issues, and that's just the number one thing that's leader in the county.
Thank you, sir. We will now move to our 4th question, and here is the order. Paul Browning, Colby Goss, Chris Couch, Robert Crider, Mitch Alford. We'll start with Paul Browning.
Get them, Globe.
In what ways would you approach differently from the current office holder, and why do you believe those changes are needed?
I'm close but not exact, I apologize.
He's slick.
Again, the current judge executive is, I consider a friend. He has done by and large a good job with maintaining all the basic functions of the county. Some of the things that would differ up from us, I guess, he takes an overall approach to the county. He looks at larger projects. I really want to take a community-based approach, go area by area, and really see how we can improve each one of those areas. We can't move the county forward as a whole unless we move each community forward. That's the only way it's going to happen. I would like to focus more on funding particular projects throughout the county, I feel like we've done an okay job, but I feel like we've also left money on the table, so to speak, with different grants. We've started being more proactive in that situation, but not active enough. You may say, well, Paul, you've been a manager for 7 years. What input do you have? And we do, as a fiscal court, we do have input collectively. It is fiscal court, it is dealing with the monies, and it is dealing with the different areas like that. But the county judge executive has the sole voice at the end of the day. He is the person making the connections, making the phone calls, signing the grant forms. He determines where and what we're seeking and where and what it goes. I just want to take a different approach. Not a centralized approach, but a community approach where we're looking at every area because it is unique and involve the managers more in their direction on what they like to see in their districts. Have community meetings where you're able to express what you want and what you don't want, just as importantly, in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Colby Goss. Would you like me to repeat the question?
In what ways would your approach be different from the current office holder, and why do you believe those changes are needed?
Well, having been a part of that office for the last 10 years, it's kind of a hard spot to be in. But, you know, the current judge and I, we, on most things, we kind of have the same ideas, the same
Not
approaches.
up fuck.
Me personally, I'm more of a listener, and I enjoy problem solving. I think that would be the two biggest differences, you know, my skills, where we're at now. I've written countless grant proposals, a lot of them successful. We brought a lot of money into this county. We're going to, if elected, we'll continue to seek those funds. We'll be a little more targeted in the areas that we do see them.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as difference, there are some, but there won't be that many.
Thank you. Chris Couch.
Slaughterhouse.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Going back to that word again, transparency. If we're gonna spend our money, if we're gonna do a big project, you need to be involved. We need to have community meetings, we all need to get together and sit work things out. Even the smallest person sometimes has.
You done said that.
We need to be more open about where the money's going, what we're doing, what we plan on doing, and what we want the outcome to be. Another thing, if it ain't making money, it's for sale. We can't keep throwing the money into things that are just breaking us. We have to stop somewhere. There's some things I understand, like the water situation, you're gonna have to eat that one. We gotta buy people water. But other things are just costing us money, it's gotta end, it's for sale.
Thank you. Mitch Hoffman. I'm sorry, Robert Crowder. Got ahead of myself. Would you like me to repeat the question?
In what ways would your approach be different from the current office holder, and why do you believe those changes are needed?
I think the office, I think they've done a good job, and everybody has different ideas and different ways of, the way they think that leadership should play around things. But on the other hand, I think a lot of things, I mean, I would look down and try to handle it different. And one of our biggest, and I'm gonna bring it up, because our water issue has got to be dealt with in this county as a whole. If there's not a district, like those lines were put in when I was in grade school in Lawrence. There's not been, that was, I remember walking home, it was 87, 88, when they were putting those lines in. And there's not been any new restructuring to those systems at all in that area since then. And when you pass 2 years on the water system, you're already starting to look, just asking for trouble. And we've got to start doing more. Well, first, I mean, there's no preventive maintenance. We're past that point. We've got to resource money and find it somewhere, even if we've got to use some of the county's budget money for our infrastructure and our valves and those hydrants plays a crucial role. And even it falls all the way back to the fire departments. If they need a fire hydrant and somebody's house is on fire, they go to the valves because it's not been properly maintained or replaced, then people pays higher on their fire insurance. And then even back to our fire EMS or ambulance service. We've got one ambulance service right now. When we have multiple accidents, we don't even have
Narcan.
somebody wants it for transport. If somebody needs transported, if the weather's not good, the helicopters can't fly. So they gotta sit there and wait, we've got to work and figure out another way also to get money in here and funded and work.
Shape shifting works.
Mitch Alford.
I think the biggest thing is communication. And like some of these other guys have said, these ideas are coming from the public. When I get out there, the biggest
Yeah, but you
struggle
won't come on my
that I
show
hear
and
from
holler
people is They
communication.
feel like they don't have a voice to the county judge executive. They don't feel like we're a part of that. And I feel like we need to get our community involved more, you know. Some other concerns, you know, our fiscal court meetings. They're early at 10 o'clock in the morning, a lot of people work. Why not alternate those to where people can come and be a part of that? But the transparency aspect, like I said, other ones have said it, and the reason they're saying it is because people voice it to us as we're out talking to folks. And I really, any program that you have, if you get community support, then you're going to have it work a whole lot better. You're going to have more success because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us as a community growing and doing better. And whenever you have a voice in your fiscal court, then you're going to be heard. We may not have all the solutions immediately. A lot of times people just want to be heard. And if you come to me with your problems, I'm going to evaluate them, and if I don't know the answer, then I'm going to try to research that and figure it out. Because I don't know everything. And none of us do. I'm not arrogant in any form or fashion. I've got put in this position because a lot of people had confidence in me to run that I probably didn't see in myself. And I appreciate that. And I believe that we can do better to reaching everybody by having you get a piece of it and being involved in our operations. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move to our final question now. This will be the order. Colby Goss, Chris Couch, Robert Kreider, Mitch Alford, and Paul Brown. We'll start with Colby Goss. As County Judge Executive, would you commit to maintaining the current property tax rate, or would you consider increasing it, and why?
I would not consider increasing the tax rate at all. You know, in fact, I would like to look at our tax structure. Who's to say that the way we have is the best? Currently, county government raises its taxes through property taxes. It revenues through property taxes. Local governments have three primary ways to raise their revenues. One of which is property tax. The other one is insurance premium tax. The other one is local income tax. Fortunately, at this time, we don't have the local income tax like some of our surrounding counties or surrounding cities. But
That's your fault, Kobe.
Tax can be on the table. I'm not saying that I would advocate for that, but I would certainly research that possibility and bring it to the court. So as far as raising taxes, I'm not for that. I'm fiscally conservative, and I think we can do the job within the means that we have.
Basically, like that.
Thank you. Chris Couch.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Biggest thing, if we can manage our budget, we don't need to increase taxes. If we're just wasting it, there's no need in it. There's other ways we can go get money, such as co-severance tax. A big part of our co-severance tax goes to Lacey, Louisville, places like that. It's my knowledge, I don't think they've ever mined the first ton code. We need to get out there and advocate for that and say, listen, this is our money, our people work for it, we deserve it. There's other ways of coming up with money besides raising taxes. We can cut programs out, but I'm sure we're shoving money into places that probably don't even need to be. There's ways to save money and not produce more taxes on everybody. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty hard sometimes. And there's no need in it, I'm definitely against it.
Thank you. Robert Crider.
45 seconds.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
I'm with everybody else, I'm definitely against raising taxes. I mean, they've held the budget, and I think it's always passed, and we've managed with what funds we've had. I know our cold sector's money, everybody thinks that we get a lot of that, but it's political ways, just about done. We've got to find some other revenues to replace some of that lost cold sector's tax. And I have contacts and ideas, which I'll let bring to the table right now, that could help replace some of the cold sector's tax money that we've got. We've got to look into what's happening now in the future with the way computers, data centers, electronics and stuff runs the internet. There's a lot of other ways that we've got the resources and the power right here at home to help get some of the tax money.
Well,
Without raising taxes on people that don't have money to pay here at home, because people at home just don't have extra money to pay taxes, it's especially on fixed income. So I'm definitely against the tax raise. We can figure that out and make it work. It's always worked before.
Thank you, sir. Mitch Alford.
So this is kind of a hot button topic that got brought up through a post a few weeks ago, so I kind of deep dived into that and tried to figure it out. That's another thing what I'm talking about having community support there. You know, our taxes have been the same since 2015. A lot of people didn't even know what the rate was on their property tax. And we need to get people involved in it. I'm not about raising taxes at all. Like they said, the three main ways of raising tax, or our tax base. Do you want the working class people to have the burden on taking that tax up if you put the occupational tax in place? Or insurance is already pretty high, you know? So I think the community involvement is the key factor there. If there was any talk of restructure or anything, I would really like the community to be involved in that, share your ideas, how that would work. If anything, you know, I want to look at lowering taxes if possible. And I know that can't be done overnight. If we grow as a community, if we bring in more taxes, we can lower those, you know. We can look at a compensated rate whenever our properties get assessed and the rates go higher. Are we still bringing in that same rate? Or can we lower it if we're bringing in more
We're
taxes?
getting food
I
stamps.
think community involvement, again, having a say, is the key component there. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Brown.
I don't want to break the streak, just go ahead and ask the question one more time.
As county judge executive, would you commit to maintaining the current property tax rate, or would you consider increasing it, and why?
I guess first and foremost, I've been involved in 7 budgets as your magistrate. So as magistrate, I voted 7 times to not increase the property tax rate. You have 3 ways of bringing revenue into a county: property tax, insurance premium tax, and occupational tax. That's it. The insurance premium tax we looked at already. We discussed that pretty thoroughly about 3 years ago. The cities have the ability to hijack the insurance premium tax and hijack the occupational tax. So those are areas that would only help cities as much as counties. So the main avenue of travel that we have for revenue is property tax. It would be my hope, honestly, to lower the tax as we go forward. That can happen as we improve our county and subsequently increase property value. So instead of increasing your tax, I would increase the worth of your property. As that is raised, then we can look at the revenue stream coming in and see if we can actually lower the rate. Now, it may be a net gain for the county, but we're doing okay. We really are. We can improve the value of your property pretty simply. removal of blighted and abandoned properties that are surrounding your property, cleaning up our neighborhoods, and adding amenities into our communities that make those areas more welcoming and more attractive. Playgrounds, walking trails, other things like that. Those are the areas and things that people are looking for when they're looking at us from an outside view. They want a nice, clean neighborhood. They want those things, and they don't mind paying for that. Ideally, lower the taxes as we increase value. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move into the closing statements for the Judge Executive's race. Our candidates will have 2 minutes to make their closing remarks each. We will continue with the rotation of the candidates, which will be in this order: Chris Couch, Robert Kreider, Mitch Alford, Paul Browning, and Colby Gullis. Chris.
Appreciate you guys' time. I come to you as an independent candidate. I don't believe in much either side does right now. So that is the only way. I know they say it's straddling the fence, but it is what it is. I just can't go along with either side. I don't come with you with diplomas on the walls. I got 2 little associate's degrees. I don't come with you with years and years of political background. I'm not a politician. I just want to see this place do better.
Thank you.
God, mighty.
Robert Kreider.
These motherfuckers ain't
Thank
talking for
everybody for
nothing.
coming out this evening to listen to us and hear everybody's ideas. And everybody, all the candidates are great guys. They've all got great ideas. And the best thing I can do is everybody knows me, I can just be me. And be the person that people knows that I am. And I'm honest. And I've always been a hard-working person. And they know that
Shout out
I'm
Mikey
honest,
Quinn.
and I'll do it for the community. And
Preacher.
I'm trying to stay today is for this community, this county. Because I've lived here and I've worked out of town and out of state almost all my life. But yet you still see me standing here in Harlan. And I appreciate y'all's consideration on election day, and I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Mitch Alford.
44 seconds.
I'll reiterate that. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully, I've said something tonight that's been of substance and been productive. I'm not a politician, so this is different from me. I hope I've talked well for you. I have been a public servant right here in this community my whole adult life, and I've learned a lot from that. And it's taught me about our people, on all different areas of life. Those who are very wealthy and those who struggle to get by. And I've been called to both, and I've tried to research and come up with solutions that work both for each other. I've had the confidence of several of you, of our leaders, and they've spoke that to me, and it's been a blessing stepping into this arena in the politics. It's different, but it has been a blessing, and I appreciate those who got me started in this journey, who encouraged me, who see something in myself that I may not have seen. And all I want to do is see good for our community. I want to see, if I get elected, I want somebody to come up and say, you know what, we're proud of what you've done. You've improved our lives in some way. That would be the ultimate goal, because it's about public service, not self-service. And that's how I would lead. And I really would appreciate your consideration. If you haven't made your mind up, my door would always be open to you. And I would do my best to make you proud of Harlan County. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Brown.
Thank you all again for just putting up with me tonight. I appreciate that. When I first asked to serve the citizens of this county, these were the pillars that I stood on: dedication, devotion, and determination. As this role allows me to expand their vision across the entire county, these pillars remain. I add to those communication, connections, and community. As your judge executive, the basic needs of every citizen will always be a priority. But, for just a moment, imagine with me the many wonderful things that our county and communities deserve. Parks and recreational areas that are as nice as any you've seen. Gathering places that will restore a sense of community and pride. The removal of blighted and abandoned properties that return beauty to every neighborhood. addressing the challenges that so many of our citizens face that are on the spectrum, seeking out employers that provide good paying jobs that result in a better quality of life. Everything that you just imagined can be a reality. It takes dedication, devotion, determination, coupled with communication, connections, and community to make that happen. I hope tonight that you realize just how important the job of county judge executive it is. I hope that you realize the difference between someone who thinks they can do the job as opposed to someone who has the experience, ability, planning, and vision to do the job and do it better than it's ever been done. I hope that as you go to vote, that you choose the candidate that has been accountable to you, the citizens of this county for 7+ years, that has a proven track record of action and is best suited to lead every area of our county forward. Vote for vision, vote for proven leadership, vote for Browning. And as I always say, if you can't vote for Paul, don't vote at all. Thank you.
My God.
Thank you. Colby Goss.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to be here.
Just go ahead and tell him you quit.
For a good discussion tonight. I'll keep this brief. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not much of a talker, I'm a doer. For the last 10 years, I've been a doer and proven it every day. And given the opportunity, we'll do it for 4 years, and we'll do it well. And we'll leave Harlan County better than now. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our candidates for sharing your time, your perspectives, and your willingness to serve Harlan County. We appreciate each of you being here tonight, participating in this forum. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Also, we want to thank everyone in attendance tonight. Events like this are an important part of the democratic process, and your participation helps ensure a stronger, more informed community. We encourage you to stay engaged, continue learning about each of the candidates, and most importantly, make your voice heard when it's time to vote. On behalf of the Harlan County Chamber of Commerce, Eastern Broadcasting, thank you again for being here tonight. We hope to see you again at our next candidate forum on Tuesday, March 31st, when we will hear from our candidates for magistrate. Have a great evening, safe travels home, and God bless. Thank you.
God bless. All right. Yeah. You know where I come from. I'm just giving you advice. All right. Robert Crowder. Hey, Robert.
I'm going back to Alabama Thursday night. I'm going to be back to Friday.
Okay.
I'm trying to get that job done. It's killed my time, man. I drove to Louis. I left work to do it, and I go back.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just figured I'd give you Mama Pop. She said, all right, I gotta go find Powell. Where's Uncle Powell? Where'd Powell go? y'all. The party don't stop. Just let me get some equipment together here one time. We're going, guys. We're going to try to meet some people. Hang on. I got a bunch of stuff with me in no bag. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're trying to get out of here while everybody's outside. Let me lower this some more up. Yes. I'm putting a hoodie on and we'll roll. All right, y'all. We're gonna try to. Howdy, doing all right? Yeah, doing wonderful. I put your thing over there. I'll be back in a second. Plant the garden. I'm gonna need my glasses to read comments. Let's go, by God. Willard Wilkerson. What's going on? I don't know if it was one of you or one of them cops down there the other night that lied to me. Somebody talked bad about me and I barely heard them. I don't know. It was right there at your house right after that, them police was down there. Is that the Godfather himself? Jim Rowdy is in the house. Excuse me. I won't put nobody on camera that don't want us to be. Go ahead.
No, I was saying
Mitch, you did a great job. Great job. They're excited. She's almost big as Chris Brewer, by God. There's our sheriff and our next District 2 magistrate, in my opinion, and I believe everybody else's. This is District 5 magistrate, the Godfather, Jim Roddy. I mean, he's the Godfather. Go ahead, ma'am. Two of the finest officers you'll ever find in your life. Travis is he's been working out. Willard Wilkerson don't never play cards with his brother. He'll take everything you got. Kind of difficult.
Set your books down.
Yeah, hold them.
Stream for me. Let me get my phone out for you. I need to be just a little bit more prepared. Only I can flick, fly. Thanks.
The woman's out in the car. I'm trying to come back in here and talk, so I'm gonna take your stuff out and socialize.